Hi everyone. I just want to go over our third and final essay in the class, which is called Writing in the Public Sphere. And I know the title might sound a little different than maybe something you're used to writing, but I want to explain what that means and how we go about doing that so that it will help you form your ideas. Because when you're watching this video, this is the start this week of coming up with your outline. Your first draft will be your journal, so Journal 8 will serve as that first draft. It'll be you brainstorming, writing your ideas down. I will be reviewing those outlines quickly and getting back to you whether or not they are sufficient and whether you can move on to your draft, because I wrote down the dates. The outline and first draft are due Friday, November 17th. That's your journal, which is the 2 paragraphs that you do for a journal, and the outline, okay, on the 17th. The second draft will be due Tuesday, November 21st by 12 noon. The final draft will then be due, I'm going to announce that date. I just have to check my calendar, but it will be due, of course, after that, with plenty of time for you to revise and edit. Okay, so what does it mean to write in the public sphere? Basically, what it means is you're entering a conversation about your topic. So whatever the topic may be, let's just say the topic of slanted language or charged language, because I know right now with all the political tensions going on in the election and so much happening in the world, we're seeing a lot of charged language. We're seeing a lot of slanted language depending on what channel you're watching or what newspaper you're reading. So that's a good topic maybe to consider, right? So you're entering this conversation, right? How do you do that? First, you read, you absorb, you analyze, and you question, right? So first you read. Then you might have to reread, or however you go about doing it, or read slowly in order to absorb, right? Then you start analyzing the information. Then you start questioning it, right? You might agree, you might disagree, you might have mixed response, which is totally fine. The second thing you do is you form your own opinion and perspective on the topic, right? So you might agree with part of what one person said and part of what someone else said, and you totally disagree with this person, but this person raises a good point, but maybe you see it a little differently. Maybe you kind of you have a mixed view of part of this person and part of this one, or what you saw here you understand, but you found someone who did it better somewhere else and you want to kind of explain that. However you want to go about doing it, that's forming your own perspective on something, right? So the third part is then joining in this conversation by writing your essay, right, giving your perspective and also responding to others while doing so. So that's the whole point of this. So it is not to pick what someone else had to say and to just say why you liked it or why you agreed or disagreed with it. That's not the point. The point is for you to read and absorb different material by several different people, right? At least 2 or 3 for this essay, 2 or 3. And then to form your own idea. Your thesis then is your idea, right? So you might say, while I agree with some of what such and such this author has to say, I also believe that this other author says it a little bit more clearly. However, I disagree with the final point there. So my perspective is this, this, and this, right? So your perspective might be totally different than A and B. So you're forming your own C, so to speak, right? So it's different than A, it's different than B, it's your own. Now, you can do this in several different ways. You can make it an argumentative essay, where you're arguing your points and you're using all of these references that you agree and disagree with. You can make it analytical, where you're basically delving further into something, you're exploring, you're shedding light, you're doing it in such a way. Or you could do a compare-contrast. And it wouldn't be a typical compare-contrast because it's not 2 things that you're analyzing and comparing. Rather, it's yourself, your own opinions, right? And how they may compare and contrast with other 2 authors, right? Or you could do how 2 authors compare and contrast with one another, and then how you could use your third point. So the first point could be like author A, the second point could be author B, and then C could be how yours differs from both of those, right? You could talk about like the similarities and differences between your opinions and those of the other 2. So there's 3 ways to go about it. Okay, this essay will be a 4 to 5 page paper, and it does need a works cited, and it must be an MLA format with your citations. Everyone is required to have at least 2. I do recommend 3. I think it'll make for a more developed, expansive paper. So I am going to be available for any questions, of course. I will make a discussion board, which will say Writing in the Public Sphere discussion board for any questions regarding the essay. I will then make one that says outlines here, where you will drop your outline, you'll post it there. I'll get back to you on the outlines, and then we'll take it all from there. Okay? And you're free to look at any topic, any idea within our text, language awareness, that appeals to you. Anyone. It could be from beginning semester to end. It could be a chapter we didn't cover. It could be an article you enjoyed that we did cover. But anything that you want to talk about, there. Okay? So as long as it's from language awareness, it's fair game. All right? So have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.